He knows it doesn't matter what's under a hood. The only thing that matters is who's behind the wheel.
When I'm flushing it, I don't stick to it.
But again, with the driver right now, the driver sucks.
I tried to activate my glutes the best I could.
Most important thing, make sure you fade it.
Well, hello, and welcome back to another episode of Under the Covers, a golf podcast where we deep dive each week into the latest PGA Tour winner's bag. We're your hosts. My name is Dominic, and we have Matthew with us tonight. Hello, Matt.
Dom, what is up? I saw Rick Golf's T100. If you're not familiar, or I think it's actually T100 Rick Golf. I don't know. He's famous on Twitter in the golf world. He goes around and he has made quite the living, I guess, playing top 100 golf courses around the world, which I would highly recommend for anybody's career path. But turns out we live in a very similar spot. I was running and I see this guy and I just clocked it. It was him. I pulled my headphones out and I said, "You're Rick Golf T100." He's like, "What's up, man?" So we're friends. It was like seeing Justin Bieber, but for golfers.
And he loved it that you recognized him too.
Yeah, he was like, "This is the first time I've been recognized outside of golf." Like it was just in like a park.
Nice. So like normally it's at a tournament somebody recognizes him.
Or yeah, like if he's playing a golf course or something like that. Yeah,
That's sick.
it was really random.
Are y'all gonna play or what?
We're gonna. We're kind of DMing back and forth right now.
Oh, there you go.
I'm gonna have my people talk to his people. It's a whole thing.
Sounds like you had a great weekend. Somebody else had a great weekend. Kristoffer Reitan or Reitan or literally anything else because nobody knows.
I have heard it so many different ways this week. I'm so caught up with words. I have no idea how to say it.
It seemed like every broadcast had a different pronunciation, which is hilarious.
Can someone just ask the guy?
I know. There was Travis Etienne, which that's not even how you pronounce it. Running back for the
Clemson
Giants.
Tigers.
He was Jaguars.
He was part of Clemson though for a long time, right?
Clemson,
He played.
Yes, went to Jaguars
and then
for a
he was on the
while.
Jags.
Then he got traded recently, and I should know this. Regardless, his name literally isn't pronounced Etienne. And there was a huge thing about broadcasters were like, "Why wouldn't you tell us that?" And he essentially is, I'm already too far in. I didn't want to do that. It's like, no, we want to be respectful and say how your name is pronounced. But anyway, Kristoffer. It's spelled weird too.
It's Christineth.
You idiot. The rookie from Oslo, Norway, gets his first career win in the PGA. He has a few international wins. Only his 15th start, which is very impressive. And he's kind of, sticks around in a lot of these tournaments too. So it's fun to see him finally get one. Shout out our Norway listeners. You did it. You got yourself a win. So he just was second place at the Zurich. Again, he's always in the mix. And then he was actually the second player from Norway to play in the U.S. Open. Fun fact.
Victor Hovland would have been the first, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's also his first win with multiple commas in the purse. Got him 3.6 mil. And just had a great tournament. He shoots up to 13 in the FedEx points and 25th in the official World Golf rankings. Started pretty strong with a opening 66, 5 under, par 71, 66, 70, 64, and then a closing round of 69, which is bogey-free, to narrowly escape Ricky Fowler, Nikolai Hojgaard, and Alex Fitzpatrick coming out of nowhere. But yeah, it was by surviving the Green Mile. All three of those other players had a bogey or worse, and Kristoffer parred out, ended up winning by a couple strokes. Very fun for him. Matt, what were you seeing out there in that final round?
Yeah, I'll be quite honest. We call balls and strikes on this podcast. I was very, very against Quail Hollow this week. I will say it provided a stern test. I think that was good. It was weird with all the Do you notice like how the around the greens were like a different color than the fairways? It was almost like they had a very specific cutoff.
I was going to bring that up. I have no idea. Like, were they not prepared, or is that just how it goes over there in Carolina?
It's almost like they made it like super short around the greens or something, and the fairways are more lush. I don't know. The thing I feel like I'm seeing recently is like I feel like the Nordic countries are having a moment in golf. It's like you have Hovland, Reitan, whatever, the Højgaard twins, Rasmus Niergaard Peterson, aka RNP, people call him, which is a sick nickname. I mean, you got some really good like Ludvig Aberg from Sweden, Nordic country.
Mm-hmm.
You just have like there's a lot of good Nordic golfers coming out of the ranks right now.
Yeah,
So,
I was going to bring it up later in our excuse me, in our Truist recap, but do we need to have a conversation of where's the American talent these days? You know, even Scotty's been picking it up lately, but he's kind of our last defense between the Europeans.
We can get into that. It is bad news for the Ryder Cup coming up and the President's Cup. I mean, the President's Cup will win, we'll be fine, but the Ryder Cup, yeah, like we're in a bad spot. And now the Europeans have another good player in Kristoffer Reitan that's going to come up and be a potential, like, if he keeps winning tournaments, he's going to be a potential pick for Luke in Ireland if he continues his form over the next couple of years. Yeah, the Europeans feel stacked right now outside of Cam Young. Like, the only players it seems like we have are Cam Young and Scotty Scheffler and maybe a little bit of JJ Spawn, but I don't know.
Yeah, JT's looking good these days. He's obviously going to be a Ryder Cup choice just because of the vibes, and he kind of plays well. But yeah, I don't really know. Xander's kind of in and out. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah, we don't have a lot of consistency at the top right now, so that's not looking good. But otherwise, I enjoyed Quail Hollow. I enjoyed the tournament. I think there's too many signature events is my hot take with PGA Tour right now. Like there's two, they're trying to make them all signature. If you make everything signature, nothing is signature. So
exactly, yeah, and like you need cuts, you know.
Yeah,
at least just bring cuts back, because I don't know. It's a little interesting, but to bring it back to Kristoffer, very interesting moment walking up the 18th fairway where he didn't even know, he didn't have a scoreboard. He didn't have a leaderboard at all.
That's right. Yeah, he was asking where he was, which is
and like I don't know if I'd want to know. You know, he had I don't actually know the footage of that putt, but he had maybe 15, 20 feet, and like the greens are pretty hard, and if he knows, I mean, at his situation, he would have had to 4-putt to lose, but like I would have been like, I'll find out later.
You need to know. He needed to know on 18 because he needed to know if he had to make it.
Oh yeah, that's fair.
Like you have to know if you can 2-putt to win, which he obviously did, or you need to make it to get into a playoff, or you need to make it to win. Like that's a different. You put that different hat on, right? So if you just need a 2-putt to win or 3-putt to win, which I think it was or something, like he can just you don't hit that putt aggressively, right? You play more break, you play it super slow. But if you have to make that putt to either get into a playoff or to win, you hit that putt differently. So
that's a fair
I think
point.
that's why he asked. But yeah, most guys don't either. Some guys just don't like to know where they're at. They like to just play their regular game. So.
I feel like Brooksy is probably one of those. He's like, I'll just hit whatever's in front of me kind of guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's definitely that competitive mindset, especially in like the highest level of golf. It's just a different kind of animal, but makes perfect sense. And who would have thought we almost saw him on YouTube instead?
Yeah, that was
Did you hear about that?
Yeah, he was like, I almost tried YouTube golf, and I was like, what? That was like so confusing.
Which I'm curious is like, is YouTube golf, this is a wild statement, is YouTube golf harder to be like top level at than like entering into the PGA if you already have your card? Like Wesley Bryan, he's a personality, like him and his brother, and them also being very good. It's like when you're a social media golf influencer, there's levels to it where you're either really good and have no personality, or you flip it like Bob Does Sports, hilarious, but sucks at golf. And then like FP is right in the middle, Fat Perez, where he's really good but also very funny. It's like it's a very interesting balance, but sometimes people don't want to only see good golf. Like if you're just Bryson is interesting. He has a little bit of both these days. But like I don't know if the Norwegian man just randomly deciding to record himself play golf, if that would have worked out. So I'm glad he didn't.
Right. You actually see a lot of Norwegian guys and Nordic guys. They're big into like coding YouTube, which is the other side of the internet I live on, but that's a whole other story. Yeah, it's a whole weird thing. But yeah, I mean, it was a weird comment. I don't think his personality seems like pretty dry. Like I don't know if he would do well on YouTube golf, to be honest with you. Like I mean, maybe I'm totally missing that. But yeah, I mean, I guess
his sister is huge in the social media space, and his dad is like one of the richest Norwegian people out there.
Yeah, he made all his money in like groceries or something, like Norwegian groceries, I think it was.
I think that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, he's like a bazillionaire. So it was such a weird story, but I mean, cool, I guess. I mean, you know.
Yeah. So
golf is valuable. So
it's interesting, but I mean, hey, I think that kind of brings us to the more important question: is what does he have under the covers?
Yeah, Ping staffer. So plays all Ping clubs. Notable Ping doesn't make golf balls, right? So he plays a Titleist golf ball. But yeah, all Ping staffer. So excited to dive into it. Driver Ping 440 max at 9 degrees. I believe it's digitally lofted to something right above 9. But playing the Mitsubishi Tensei 1K White TX. Unfortunately, our boy Kev's not here. He's the Mitsubishi Tensei guy, I feel like. But pretty standard weight, plays the TX. He swings it hard, right? These guys swing hard at the golf ball. So playing a little bit stiffer than regular X stiff. The only notable thing here, I feel like, was reports are that he was switching between his G440K and the G440 Max throughout the week. So I think beginning of the week he was in the K, which the G440K is the new version of the Ping driver, and the Max is like the old version. So yeah, you don't see a ton of guys switching drivers midway through a week, so that's super weird. He must have been looking for something very specific that the Max does. I think the Max has a little bit more draw bias. So maybe he felt like he was missing it a bit right and wanted a driver that had a little bit more left bias in it. And so to kind of like, especially when you get nervous or like when you're swinging really hard at it, a driver that has a left bias can eliminate some of the right miss. Because when you're swinging hard or you're nervous, usually right from a good golfer's perspective is where you miss.
Gotcha. Yeah, and I'm going to do my best Kevin impression here, but so comparing with the Diamante whiteboard, it's a little bit softer than that. The butt and the tip are definitely a little bit softer, so it kind of creates, it's a little bit more spin, I believe. That could be the black that gets more spin. I literally just looking at the Mitsubishi website here comparing these, but so I know the black is high spin, and then the blue is a little bit like is the one below the white, because I have the blue and Kevin put me into that one because I have a very low launch, and the blue for my 7-wood creates a really high launch essentially. So then that white I think is right in the middle of all these. So it's, you know, he's swinging hard, but he kind of is just dialing in a little bit. So like you said, it's interesting to change mid-round. But, I mean, it seemed to be working. I'm curious his stats on driving accuracy there.
Yeah, it says white is low launch, low spin. Black is ultra low launch, ultra low spin, which is nuts. Blue is mid launch, mid spin. Orange is counterbalanced. And then the red is the high launch, mid to high spin. So playing a low spin, low launch, low spin shaft. So maybe kind of similar to like between a blue-black Ventus, which we talk about the Ventus on this podcast a lot because that's probably the most popular shaft out there. But yeah, probably just looking for a little bit more help with the max or something. I don't know, but pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a fun bag.
So Ping G440 Max 15 degree 3 wood, also a Mitsubishi Tensei 1K White 80 TX. So again, pretty standard. I feel like we've seen some weird bags over the last couple weeks with like weighting maybe and like all that sort of stuff. 60 gram driver shaft, 80 gram 3 wood shaft. Like it's pretty much standard. That's pretty much what most people would get fit into, if that makes sense.
Would you say that? Isn't it more of like, because I know we've seen a few where it's a 10 gram difference in between driver 3 wood, 5 wood.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, anywhere between, like, some guys will have a 70 in their driver and an 80 in their 3 wood or something, but he definitely kind of dials it back on his 3 wood a little bit more with the 80, whether he's just for the right swing weight or something, or to with it being heavier, but anywhere between that 70, 80 to 90 mark with the 3 wood's pretty standard. So
yeah, and then going down the line too, the 7 wood we kind of touched on a little bit, but similar Ping G440 Max, it's 21 degrees, and then with the driver and 3 wood, he's got the Tensei 1K White, but with the 7 wood, he actually has the black in there at 85 degrees. Sorry, 85 grams.
yeah. So again, the black is that ultra low launch, ultra low spin. So basically what that is right, the 7 wood, aka the heaven wood, as we like to call it on this podcast, is that's gonna launch crazy high. And 7 woods are like, what's something that's super viral in the world right now? I don't know. What's those like dolls that everybody has?
The Fungo Pops?
I've never heard
That's what they're called, with like the big faces.
No, like the ones that everybody was using for a while. That's like the, no, gosh, I can't remember. They're like
Pokemon.
Well, could be, but no, I'll think of the name. But think of something that's super viral right now. That's what 7 woods are in golf on the tour right now. Like 7 woods are so viral. Like every pro has a 7 wood now in their bag. It's just so interesting that's the new trend.
Yeah, and what I'm looking at, and this is my guess. So typically, you'd see a different wood or a hybrid in between the 3 wood and the irons. So he goes 3 wood, 7 wood, and then he also has a 4 iron. A lot of the times you're replacing your 4 iron with a 7 wood. So I think that's what he's getting at is 7 wood, super high launch regardless, just because of the face. So then he puts in a low launch shaft to kind of maybe control the distance a little bit better, and continues to use the 4 iron because he pros can hit that thing like crazy. So it is a very interesting setup here.
Yeah, Dom, I'm thinking about Labubus.
What are those?
You've never heard of a Labubu?
A Labubu? No. Labubu. What in the world are you on? Oh yeah, those they like hang on a keychain.
Yeah, that's the equivalent of a 7 wood.
Look up a Fungo Pop. Either one is a 7 wood. Man, these clubs, they look so good. I just love everything Ping. So staying on the Ping train, he has the Ping Blueprint S for his 4 all the way to 9. And that's actually, it's also a little bit different because the more common trend these days is those higher irons, 4-5, being a cavity back, and then kind of going with more of a blade type for the lower ones. But no, he just goes purely with the Ping Blueprint S, and then has a KBS Tour X shaft. So extra stiff, swings hard. But yeah, man, I love the look of his bag here.
I love the way, part of what I love when I test like a 3 wood or like a wood is the way it sits on the ground. Like if I put a wood on the ground and it sits open to me or sits closed, I won't use it. And I've always loved how Ping woods sit on the ground. I think they sit super square. I think they're awesome. I hate the way Ping irons look. I cannot put a Ping iron on the ground and be like, man, I'm so confident behind this golf ball. I don't know why.
Really?
Always been a thing. But the blueprints are probably the only ones that like somewhat look good to me sitting on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
I've never known what it is. I do like the white line. I think they fill the last groove on the bottom with a white line historically, and I think that always looks good because it kind of helps you like address the ball a little bit. But yeah, blueprints are sick. I remember the blueprint first came out. They were super popular. But yeah, again, like you said, a lot of guys are going, 4 and 5 and maybe a little bit of help with the iron, and he kind of is just all blades all the way through. So kind of a throwback there, if you will, with a full set of blades.
Yeah. So whenever you're saying that you don't like the look, is this strictly from over top, or are you not liking, the bounce, the back of the iron? Like what are you specifically not really enjoying with those ping
No,
irons?
I'm looking at the top line, right? I'm looking at what it looks like from the top, setting it on the ground like I would get up to hit it. And I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's like the back part has that cutout, that pings have or something in the back of the hosel. I don't know. They just they've never set up well. I think they have a lot, in my opinion, they have a lot of offset. I'm not a big offset guy, so that means how far back the face is from the shaft, essentially.
Mhm.
I always feel like pings have had a lot of offset. So they've never looked good to me, but it's like, it goes back to like, guys that drive Chevys, guys that play pings have always played pings. Like they're loyal to ping. It's just like one of those things that if you've grown up playing it and you're just used to it and that's what you like. And it's just personal preference, but yeah, people that play ping irons swear by them. So I'm sure they are good. Just never put one in my bag.
I'm curious. We should ask Kevin if he's tested out some ping irons. I know he loves his ping putter,
Mm-hmm.
his PLD, and then I can't remember if he's still rocking his ping driver, but he's always had some kind of ping in his bag. So I fully agree with that statement that the guys who like ping, they like ping.
Yeah. I swear by the woods. I think the woods are fantastic. I would play ping woods. Some days, I regret not getting the G440K instead of the Quantum. But yeah, the woods never set up for me, or the irons never set up for me.
Mm-hmm. And one more shout out with Kevin is, I believe Kevin loves him so much because wasn't he an aerospace engineer and it just was like, I'm gonna make golf clubs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Ping is still the only privately owned equipment company. So they're not publicly traded. The good thing about that is they don't have to answer to shareholders, right? So they don't have to release a club just to release a club to get new, sales or hit sales targets. I mean, I'm sure they do have sales targets, but they're not beholden to shareholders, if that makes sense. Like if they feel like they have enough R&D to release a club, they're going to release a club, essentially. That's what it is. So I do like that. And it seems like they hold their tour players for a long time, which is cool. Like it feels like the guys that sign with Ping stay with Ping.
Yeah, true.
Like we'll get into Brooks in a bit, leaving Srixon, but you have Bubba Watson, Billy Horschel, Sahith Theegala, Miguel Angel Jimenez. He's been a Ping guy forever. They all have been, and I feel like once they you get in that world, you almost stay in that world. It feels like a little bit.
I'm curious what they kind of stick to too. Like I feel like a lot of people say you can kind of work the club a lot. It's just a little bit more consistent, but I really don't know too much to speak on that correctly. But yeah, I would love to kind of be on a fly on the wall with the conversations with the manufacturers of what they're actually looking for. There's a video of a guy who his whole shtick right now, his series is bending certain clubs to be other clubs. So he bent a 60 degree to be a 3-iron.
I think I saw that guy. Yeah.
And you were just talking about offset. The offset on that thing was insane. It looked like it was almost half an inch.
Yeah.
And it rips. But anyways, we'll get back to the clubs. Well, actually, speaking of wedges, what does he have in the bag for wedges?
Yeah, I think the chief wedge officer will go over that. So dub myself that. Ping S259. So this is the new wedge that Ping has come out with. So he plays the 46, essentially a pitching wedge. Hand up, I'm not familiar with the grinds from Ping on wedges. So 46S, 50S, 54S, and 58S. So he's playing all S grinds. Not sure what that means. Maybe like shallow or something it could be. So pretty standard wedge setup. This is the same one I have, 46, 50, 54, 58. I think it does what it needs to do. S259s have gotten some traction. I think they are a good set of wedges. Historically, Ping doesn't make great wedges. But they've come with this new S line, which has been pretty good. So they've gotten some traction with especially the Ping staffers. Historically, Ping staffers have been able to go play Vokey wedges or another type of wedge, in all honesty. But I think Ping's trying to push them more towards playing the Ping wedge. The only thing with Ping on these is they kind of charge a lot for them. Like they charge more than Vokeys charge.
They do?
Yeah, which is weird. Like I would feel like Ping would like to like almost like undercut Vokey by like, I don't know, $15 or something.
Yeah, you would think.
But yeah, they charge.
That is interesting.
They're pretty proud of those.
So S grind is more standard, and then there's an S, W, T, E, H, and B, and the W is more forgiving, so it's a wide sole. So these are way more like they make more sense. So S standard, W wide, T tour or thin. So he's looking a little bit more for forgiveness on these S grinds. E is the I2. So that must be the older version, which I was actually going to bring it up. They made their wedges look so much better than they used to. You were just saying, you were just bringing up Vokey. They kind of have that Vokey look to them where it's a lot more open space on the, I guess you call it the top technically. And because of that open space, which is something that you would love, he has a couple stamps on there. So he's got KR for his initials. And then he also has London is red, which who knows what that means.
Big, yeah, it's a Manchester United thing.
Oh, okay, nice.
Yeah, he's a Manchester United. So London, Manchester United. Like I love when guys put a little personality in their wedges. I think it's fun. So it's cool to see, what he likes. Like I think it's boring when guys just put their initials on there. Like it's cool to. I mean, I think we just said he doesn't have personality, but maybe he likes Manchester United, so we know that.
Maybe this is the perfect time for us to learn a little bit more about him,
Right.
Because that's like, what was that? Matty Fitz had a soccer team on his, I believe.
Sutherland? No. He, oh God, I can't remember. But, yeah, no, the Europeans love their soccer. So, London is known, the London derby is Manchester United versus Manchester City. Manchester City is blue, Manchester United is red, London is red.
That makes sense. If my brother is here listening to this, he will hate that I didn't know that. Max. Big football fan. So we mentioned a little bit about the PLD, Kevin's favorite putter that he has right now. So he is rocking the Ping PLD Custom Ally Blue H with the white finish. Kevin's it's kind of like the half mallet. This one is full mallet. It actually looks pretty similar to a Spider, just a little bit more full, but it is really nice. I would love one of these, and Kevin's kind of not a bit. It's really not a bit because he's dead serious. He wants me to get a Ping putter so bad, and I am very close to listening. They're doing some good things with their mallets.
If you're listening, come go get Dom a putter, Ping.
Yeah, come on, Ping. And I have two Pings right now. One of them's my my broomstick that my grandpa, I inherited from him. And the putter face is about as big as my head. And if you know me, I have a very large head. And the other one that I have is the Copper Karsten PAL 4 that I just found. I had a story, I think one of our first episodes, but just found it in the rough 60 yards away from the pin. So I think someone got mad and threw it. So I was like, all right, I'll take it. I might need to bring that one back though.
I admittedly have never really played with a Ping putter. I have a putter that is a like a book holder, like a book book thing, that an
Yeah.
old putter that I pulled off. So, but yeah, they make good putters. They always have. The PLD line is made to kind of compete against Scotty Cameron. So it seems to be they do a pretty good job with it. So I think their stuff is cool. I love the white putters. I love the white contrast. I just feel like the white never holds up. I feel like it gets dinged and dented over time.
Yeah, I'm sure they have a lot on standby. So actually, trivia question. What does PLD stand for? You have to chug a beer if you get it wrong. I'm just kidding.
What does PLD stand for? Something design. Ping limited design.
Incorrect. It is putting lab design, which I did not expect.
That was an easy one.
Yeah, but you kind of went through some of the ping guys, but yeah, their putters are always. I was going to ask you as a long time, top level golfer, who have they always kind of been in that top echelon of putters? Like it's Scotty Cameron, obviously, but then like who would be like top 3? I feel like Ping would be in there, right? I feel like I'm forgetting a brand.
Yeah, I mean, the top 3 are going to be Scotty, Ping, and Odyssey. Those are going to be those are going to be top 3 putter brands for sure. But I guess those are the top 3, like outside of that. But TaylorMade, obviously with the Spider, is probably now ahead of both those brands.
Yeah, more recently, for sure.
I think Odyssey says they're the number 1 putter in golf. I don't know if that's trademarked or that's actually, because like I know like the Titleist number 1 ball in golf is like, it's like a trademark, although they probably are the number 1 ball in golf, but whatever. I would say it's probably Scotty, TaylorMade, Odyssey, and Ping right now. I would say Ping is probably behind those.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but I was gonna say the number 1. It blew my mind and it kind of ruined all movie trailers for me when they say the number 1 movie in the world, and it's like the most ultra specific category. It's like me saying you're my best friend that's named Matthew that lives in Dallas.
Very, very specific.
Yeah. So, anyways, back to Kristoffer. We got a lot of tangents. We need Kevin back to keep us reeled in.
Keep us between the navigational beacons, as Jimmy Duffy one. Plays the Pro V1. Again, Ping they don't make a golf ball, so they let their staffers, most of their staffers play Titleist golf balls. It's kind of, I think I don't know if they have a deal, but it's normally what they go to. And interestingly enough, a lot of the Ping staffers are in the specific Titleist commercials that are doing golf balls, which I always find interesting.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool. I'm going to notice that way more.
Yeah.
Now.
You'll like, it's like they'll have Sahith Theegala in the specific commercial that's only marketing Titleist golf balls. And it'll be like Sahith, even though he's a Ping staffer.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, because Victor Hovland's he's been in a couple commercials too.
Yeah.
That's fun. Yeah, I'm for sure going to notice that more now. All right, Kristoffer Reitan. Good for him. Got his first win. I feel like it's a little too early to keep saying we'll probably see many more, but he is a great golfer, and I could definitely see him winning some more tournaments. But the Truist Championship, I thought it was a great tournament. I know you kind of mentioned that you're kind of backpedaling a little bit on Quail Hollow, saying you weren't too much of a fan, but it played well. I do feel like they made the greens very difficult, and then I couldn't really tell with the camera angles, but are the fairways insanely sloped? It seemed like everyone was yanking their shots left. Any miss was way left.
Yeah, I feel like it definitely is pretty slopey out there. I don't want to say I'm walking it back. Like, I don't think it should do majors, but it was a good tournament.
I was curious if you got that.
User 234572218 was really up in my grill this weekend. So if you're listening, whatever your name is, we'll have to meet, on the 9th green at 9:00 one of these days. But kind of going through the people that were in it, right? This weekend. Kristoffer Reitan, obviously we mentioned him. Ricky Fowler. Ricky freaking Fowler, man. Coming back from the wherever he's been. I don't know.
We were so close to doing an undercovers for Ricky Fowler.
I wanted Ricky to win so bad. That would have been awesome. I love Ricky Fowler. Like, Ricky Fowler is one of my like all-time favorite golfers. Of just like vibes, swing, just like super cool. He's gotten, I feel like he's kind of calmed down in his older years, but
he looks like he's going to class with that little with his water bottle down the fairway.
I know. After every shot, he's got his water bottle in his hand. It's like his binky.
It's awesome.
One of the Hoy guards. I never know which one. I think this was Nikolai. They're the same.
You were a
person.
week early on your one and dones.
I know. A week early and a bit too late, and a horseshoe that didn't hit. Alex Fitzpatrick. I think he's proving all the haters wrong. Right? Like,
yeah.
Belongs here for hits that pull cut like I love. Big pull cut guy. But yeah, shaky. The thing I wanted to bring up about him is he looked so nervous on the back nine. Like, he was so jumpy. That's the biggest thing it was just like everything he was doing was like, yeah.
It's that younger brother energy, man. It's real. And it's you know, he's doing some wild stuff right now. It's pretty fun to see, but he's showing everyone, hey, yes, my brother made very good shots, but I still deserve to be here. So it's very fun to see him do well.
It just shows you that there's good golfers all over the world that just don't have PGA Tour cards. In my opinion, I think there's a lot of really good players out there that just have never qualified for the PGA Tour or only play in Europe on the European Tour or something like that. So
yeah, I guess so.
Tommy Fleetwood coming back. Watch out for Tommy Fleetwood at the PGA Championship. He's kind of bucking his head right now. He seems like he's playing well, trending. Aronimic's probably a pretty good. I like Tommy Fleetwood at the PGA Championship. Could be an early pick for Matt. JJ Spawn, Sungjae Im. Is Sungjae Im a serious golfer? Does he win ever, or does he just lurk? He's a lurker. That's right. He just doesn't. He just lurks around. He just doesn't. He never wins.
Nope. Man, that shot was so funny though. It couldn't have happened to anybody else. I don't think that bladed bunker shot.
Oh yeah, where it bounced off the stands and came right back to him.
All the way back next to him. Like, you're thinking, oh man, he's so lucky. Nope, just kidding. It's still going. I don't know if you saw whenever it passed Tommy on the green, you can see he immediately knew it's going to the bunker. Like,
and he
went
started
right
laughing.
by him, and he just hand on his head, just like, oh no.
Yeah,
that was too good, man.
Ludwig played good. Harry Hall, another good player for the Europeans. I'd like to talk about the people that came in last. Sahith has been on a bad couple weeks. This whole 2026 has felt for Sahith. Hideki Matsuyama also been really bad this year. Has not played well. Ryan Gerard, but yeah, and Spieth, man. T52.
Boy.
Is not good. I mean, he just can't figure it out. He just can't figure it out. We love him, but he can't figure it out.
Yeah. 4 over on the last round is not going to do it for you.
No. And then he did a bunch of his old, like he did like a bunch of the, he's real close, or, he says he's close. He's not close. But we love him.
I was surprised that Matsuyama did so bad though.
Yeah, he hasn't had a good year. I feel like I haven't seen him on any leaderboards. Like he's super streaky. But I say that now, he's probably going to go win the PGA Championship next week. So
yeah, just to shove it in your face.
Yep.
Don't choose him.
But yeah, that's kind of all I got on my my Truist Championship. I feel like it was a good tournament. Am I looking to tune in every week? No, but it was cool.
Yeah, I was a little surprised there's never been a back-to-back winner. Maybe that's not as common as I'm putting it in my head, but like they were all over Sepp Straka Like, ooh, is he going to be the one to do it? Is he going to be the one to do it? And with Rory winning so many times, I could have swore he had a back-to-back here. But a couple notes of mine, if I'm copying anyone's style on tour, it's Mommy Fleetwood. It's my guy Tommy. The slightly baggy pants, the monochromatic color schemes, the floppy hair. I just love. Is that this year? Is that new this year? With the baggy pants? Like, he's been rocking them these days.
He went away from Nike after last year, so he's kind of doing his own thing with style this year. I love it. I think it's cool.
Yeah. So he's doing the opposite of Rory and having loose pants.
I will die on this hill. I think Rory would have 15. No, I take that back. He would have 10 majors right now if he wore just a little bit of a looser shirt.
You don't think that keeps him tight on his rotation?
No,
so he's not.
I think Nike puts him in way too tight of shirts, and it restricts his movement, and it's just not good. I think if he was dressed well, he'd have more majors right now.
He'd have 2 Grand Slams by now. Ludwig Parmachine, I think he had a total of 5 bogeys total in the entire tournament. I was watching him closely. He was my one and done pick, but he just couldn't putt. It just wasn't really working for him. Jay Rose having a bad time with those irons. He's throwing them down. I can't tell if he's happy or joking, but he's yelling at the club and the caddy, and he's smiling while he's doing it. I think he's trying to show McClaren, I'm not actually mad.
Can I touch back on Ludwig? I feel like he needs to win. Like it's kind of getting to the point where it's like, all right, everybody says you're really good. Are you good?
Yeah, I agree with that wholeheartedly.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, Dom, tell me where you've heard this story. He's hit it really well and putted like shit.
There's a lot of those.
Like, I mean, it's. I feel like it's every week with Ludwig. It's like, oh man, if he would have made putts this week, he would have won the tournament. Okay, but he didn't, and he doesn't ever. It feels like he never makes the putt when it matters.
It is weird. Like, I mean, he's not doing Cameron Young stuff with 3 putts within 3 feet or whatever, but it's when it matters, it's just not falling. It makes no sense. He'll blow it by the pin and he misses his comeback. It makes no sense.
I feel like he needs to try the mallet. Because he's still putting with a blade, and I feel like guys that end up going to the mallet and finally taking the plunge, hand up myself, end up putting better in the long term. So I don't know. Maybe get the guy in a mallet. He might be able to compete with Scottie Scheffler. So
you and Kevin have talked about it in length, but I want to ask the question again. What is it about a mallet? Is it just it's easier on the eyes and it's easier to keep steady?
Easier to line up, easier to keep steady, it's more forgiving. It has a bigger sweet spot.
Forgiving makes way more sense. So another question for you, Matt. So when you're at such a high level, I was just talking about a lot of people yanking it left. So this isn't necessarily a Jay Rose McClaren problem, but it happened to Jay Rose a lot. His miss was, he had the big left miss on his irons, even in the middle of the fairway. So my question there for you as a competitor is, if you have a case of the lefts in tournament, mid-round, are you doing any tweaks where it's like, okay, I'm clearly starting left, ending left. Maybe I should just keep my club face open a little bit. Like, are you doing that, or are you just kind of trusting your swing because you're doing it so much? Like, what is your thought process there?
It's different for each person, for sure, like the way they play. But for me, if I am missing it consistently right or consistently left, it's usually, for me, I'm too far or too close to the golf ball. So actually, if I'm too far from the golf ball, sometimes I'll compensate by trying to come over the top of it and reaching for it and actually go left and more left than I want. And if I'm too close to the golf ball, I'll be a little bit, like cramped, and I'll push it right. So it could be he might be too far, too back from the golf ball. It could be that, again, kind of going back to what we said before with the offset of irons, the offset on the McClarens is different than what he's had before. And the more offset you have, the more you're going to hit left balls. The less offset you have, the more your ball goes right.
Whoa. Okay.
So it could be something like that, right?
Yeah.
Who knows? I don't. I mean, again, I feel like I said it. Kind of a weird time to switch irons. So I don't know.
Yeah. So last thing I wanted to note was that the final round, and I texted in the group if anyone was keeping track of how many lead changes there were. Nobody wanted to keep the lead. Every time that somebody had solo lead, it would be gone in half a hole. It was so interesting. And then whoever had the lead was the one who would yank one left and be like 10 yards off the green.
Sungjae yanked one left on that drivable par 4, hit it in the water, and and then Ricky yanked it left on 18 in the rough and everything, and then didn't get up and down. But
yeah,
crazy, man.
Our boy Kristoff, he had the big summer blowouts. No, he had the he had those ping irons. those ping irons were keeping him straight. He's not going for distance; he's going for straight. Do you like that? I had to check before we started if that was a Norwegian from Frozen, if it's Norwegian or Swedish.
That was a good Nordic joke. I hope our Nordic listeners will love that one.
Oh man,
gosh.
Well, let's talk about some LIV. What do you think?
Oh yeah. Well, first, Brandt Snedeker. Is it 2014? He wins the Myrtle Beach Classic. Honestly, shout out Brandt. That's sick. The game has passed you by. Cool. He hits it no longer than 280 off the tee. To win on the PGA Tour, hitting it 280 off the tee is insane. So, shout out Brandt Snedeker.
Snedeker. I have to redeem myself for really botching that the first time.
Snedeker, as they used to call him. JT's new putter. So he called up the Scotty Cameron Tour reps and said, "Make me the same putter as Cam Young."
Which is awesome.
That Phantom, I think it's the 9.2R or something like that. The rounded one. So cool putter, love it.
And then I'm going to interrupt you. I was cracking up at his interview because new putter. He wanted to copy Cam Young's, and then he was basically, joking like, I'm not completely trying to copy Cam Young. And then the next day they played together and they're wearing the same shoes. And he's just like, okay, maybe I'm copying you a little bit. But yeah, he putted really well. JT did. I think he was top 10 in putting if I saw that stat correctly. I could be still wrong there. We need Kevin to fact check us.
He did putt really well. So that there must be something to that. I mean, the 9.2R is basically just Scotty Cameron's version of the Spider. So he basically just switched to a Spider. So speaking of spiders, Brooks Koepka switched to a different spider. I think this one is actually called the Itsy Bitsy Spider, which is a dumb name, but
you're lying.
No, I swear.
What?
I'm not even joking, but it's basically just like a bit smaller, a bit more rounded of what he was doing. So I don't know. Hopefully it works. He did kind of pop his head out in the Myrtle Beach tournament this week. I think he was pretty close to the leaderboard. So that's cool. Excited to see him in the PGA Championship. Lucas Herbert wins LIV Virginia. There was a LIV tournament in Virginia this week, I guess. This is the first I'm hearing of it, but cool.
I know I didn't think they were holding tournaments, and then I just see that John Rahm has a albatross, and then Bryson was like third place. I was like, they're playing?
Yeah, it didn't feel like they were anywhere. Like it didn't feel like anything was on social media. Like it didn't. It just feels like it's already dead. Unfortunately.
Well, their broadcast was not good. Like it wasn't working. So nobody. It was an iPhone video that somebody took of John Rahm's albatross. It wasn't even the broadcast. I'm pretty sure. Like it wasn't anywhere to be watched.
Good. It feels very dead over there. Feels like a dying tour. So. But there was a lot of contract talk this week. So, Dom, I don't know if you're familiar with hostages or not, but John Rahm looks like a hostage.
Yeah, he does, dude. He just looks so sad all the time.
He's like, yeah, they did a pretty good job at writing the contract, so I can't leave.
They did a good job of writing the contracts. Am I doing this right? Yeah, I love LIV. Good? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel bad. John Rahm, like Mike, there's a lot of people that earned a lot of money from LIV, more money than they would ever have earned. John Rahm probably earned more money, but also lost more respect than anybody else.
Yeah. That's a great way to put it.
And I think he would have earned around the same. Well, not around the same, but he would. I mean, at that point, who cares? He still would have earned good money on the PGA Tour.
Yeah. And then speaking of the PGA Tour, our boy Anirban Lahiri.
Who?
Back to the tour.
I don't know. Who cares?
Who?
I mean, Anirban Lahiri doesn't want to come back to the PGA Tour. Oh man, I'm really not going to tune into the RBC Heritage next year because Anirban Lahiri's not there. Shucks, man, that sucks.
And we wouldn't be making fun of him if it wasn't such like a polarizing statement that he made. He's like, yeah, we're fine over here. It's like, are you the spokesperson now?
We should, you know what? We should tell Matt Fitzpatrick he has to put an asterisk on all his PGA Tour event wins because Anirban Lahiri's not in the PGA Tour field. You can't really say that you won if you didn't beat Anirban. So
yeah.
Sergio, I think Sergio said the same thing. Thomas Dietrich. Okay, yeah, Sergio, cool man, whatever. Thomas Dietrich, sure.
I don't know
whoever
too much
you
about
are.
him, but
whatever, man.
We don't even like Sergio once a year in Augusta.
No. He's one.
And then I know Ian Poulter. He had some comments too that we talked about. It's like, dude, leave it alone. Hang it up. You're fine.
Ian Poulter was going to be like Ian Poulter was going to be a Ryder Cup captain, and he gave it up to play on the Majestics. So I don't know. I can't believe that sentence came out of my mouth. But Ian Poulter, he played well with McClaren Irons this week.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah,
put in my mouth.
He almost won, I think, with the set of McClaren Irons. So they're not all
right.
Best.
So it's Justin Rose's fault.
Yeah, maybe. We touched on this before, but Brooks Koepka left Srixon Golf. They split the relationship up.
Massive. Is there
massive? Yeah.
Is there any talks of like is there people, recruiting him like he's a college athlete or a high school athlete going to college?
NIL. I think he kind of has come out and said he's just going to be an equipment free agent. Like he's just going to play what he wants.
Oh, nice.
I think that's what he was after Nike went under with golf or stopped making golf clubs back in the late 2010s. So that's kind of what he does. I mean, it was a shock to everybody when he signed with Srixon anyway, to be honest with you. But he always has played Srixon irons or Mizuno irons. So he likes that Japanese iron feel. But yeah, since then, he's put the Pro V1X back in play. So he was in the Srixon golf ball for a while.
Mm-hmm.
I put Vokeys back in the bag, which is kind of a blow, I feel like, to Srixon Cleveland because the wedges are kind of their best part of their wedges and irons are like the best part of their bag.
Mm-hmm.
And he put Vokeys right back in. So that could be interesting. And then he has a sick Grove 23 bag.
Love that thing.
Dom, are you familiar with what Grove 23 is?
The course?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay, good.
I want to play it so bad. I love the thought of it. I love the drones taking you stuff to your hole.
Yeah.
And it's very Tiger Woods coded where Jordan created a course that fits his game. Mm-hmm. It's incredible.
Maybe I can talk to Rick T100, get us a tea time out there.
There we go. Let's do it.
And last on the list, Brad Dahlke is getting a sponsor's exemption in the Good Championship.
That's wild that they have an actual golf tournament.
It's crazy. I mean, they're just a couple of dudes from Dallas that play golf.
Like, good for them. That's unreal, dude.
Brad's a good dude. I for all the YouTube golfers out there, I grew up playing against Brad. He's a nice kid, nice guy. I respect Brad. I thought he was going to be a PGA Tour golfer when he was a junior golfer. He unfortunately got the yips with the driver when he was in college, and he literally couldn't get the club back. It was crazy. Yeah, if you ever go listen to his story, he went through some true demons with his golf swing for a long time. So it's cool to finally see him getting into a PGA Tour event. If anybody is going to play well in a PGA Tour event, it's going to be Brad Dahlke.
So I looked it up, and it says that it's his professional debut. Didn't he play in the Masters?
As an amateur, I think.
Oh, okay, gotcha. That would make sense. Yeah. And I actually think this is a great time to bring this up, Matt. I think you're just a YouTube golf hater.
I totally am.
Yeah, you haven't said one nice thing about a YouTube golfer. Except for Brad Dahlke just now.
I'm a No Laying Up fan. I'm a fried egg fan. So I do watch some YouTube golf. I love James Nicklaus. Have you ever watched any James Nicklaus stuff?
No.
He's a Korn Ferry Tour player, and he kind of vlogs his tournaments and stuff.
Okay,
it's pretty cool. I guess I just don't like the. Can I beat Bob Does Sports if I let him throw my golf ball once per hole or dumb shit like that? I saw that.
You don't like the gimmicky.
Yeah, I don't like the gimmicky stuff. So,
bit of a purist you are.
Yeah.
I was noticing it was pretty much anything that any YouTube golfer would do. You had something to say about it. So I was like, I got to bring this up.
I do have something to say. I have something to say.
I wonder though, I have heard of some competitors, some golf competitors. I have heard of multiple that just aren't fans of YouTube golf. They're like you, where they like the architecture talks. They like the golf nerd stuff, like fried egg, in a good way.
I love the golf nerd stuff. I enjoy the golf nerd stuff. I don't enjoy watching a 5 or 10 handicap play 18 holes. I don't know why. I just don't enjoy that. But like I said, we're honest on this podcast. Hand up. Am I jealous that they get to play golf for a living? For sure. 100%. I'll be completely truthful about that they have a better, that's awesome that they've figured out a way that they can make money playing golf without being on the PGA Tour. Mm-hmm. That's one of the coolest things that you can do. Do I have to like their content? No. Right. I like the content that I like. Right. So,
which is fair. Yeah. Everyone has their taste.
Yeah. Yeah.
Beautiful. I think that's all I had with golf news and the Truist Championship. How about you?
That's all I got. Yeah, shout out Truist, and shout out CBS. Just go ask Kristoffer Reitan how to say his last name so we all know. Please.
We all want to know. Real quick before we leave. So PGA Championship coming up. We are going to do a full episode on the PGA preview like we did with the Masters. So every major will have its own episode. So we are skipping we do have to hit our one and done. Yeah, we're going to go over one and done real quick. Yeah. But we're going to skip on the trivia. We're waiting for Kevin on that. We're going to skip a couple things so we can save it for that PGA episode and have some fun there. So going over our one and dones, fun week. We all had some pretty good players. We kind of went with the thoroughbreds, and except for Kevin, well, thoroughbred adjacent. He went with JJ Spawn, who's notoriously playing well these last couple of years, and just blew us out of the water, I would say, or at least in comparison. Anytime Matt chooses someone, it doesn't typically go well, and I feel bad saying it all the time, but it's just so funny. He chose Rory McIlroy this week, and he was pretty close to the lead for a lot of it, and then ended up T19. So still not bad. Not bad at all. JJ Spawn ended up 5th, and I had Ludwig, and he ended up 8th. So pretty good tournament for the boys. I think this might have been our best selection on average.
So, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, we did pretty dang good here. Even whenever you won, like, yeah, this is definitely our best week total, which is fun. So total scores right now, with Rory at T19, Matt has eclipsed 600 mark. He's at 601. Kevin is 426, and old Dami Poo is at 239. I'm curious how I would do in like a normal pool. Like, what is everyone else at?
I'm starting to think Dom could be a professional gambler. He's really good at taking these.
It's weird. I don't know where this came from. I want to compare because, you know, we didn't do the first 7 weeks. So I wouldn't have a lot of these like big names probably, you know? It's like we started week 7 Genesis. But yeah, I do want to compare. I know Kevin's in a for money league, so I'm curious how he's doing there.
Yeah, I am thinking about picking people I don't like, so I know they're not going to play good nowadays.
There you go.
We'll see. We'll see how that goes. But I am pumped for the PGA Championship. The more I watch content about Aronimic, the more I'm excited about it. I think it's going to be really cool. Yeah, love majors, man. I love major weeks. It's the most fun weeks ever. And yeah, we'll do a cool preview, have a cool little wraparound trivia picking kind of extravaganza. So tune in. It'll be fun.
Yeah, if you watched our Masters episode, you saw our little draft that we had. We're going to be changing up the rounds a little bit, but stay tuned for that. It'll be very fun. But for now, thanks for listening, and we'll see you at the PGA episode, PGA Championship, baby.
Shout out to our new listener, Jake the Snake.
Cash.
He knows it doesn't matter what's under a hood. The only thing that matters is who's behind the wheel.
When I flushing it, I don't stick to this.
But again, with the driver right now, the driver sucks.
I tried to activate my glutes the best I could.
Most important thing, make sure you fade it.